So guys, I'm going to show you something today that completely transformed my trading. And I promise if you watch this video through, it will completely transform yours too. This will take you from unprofitable to profitable in 3 months. And it's not a secret strategy. It's not some weird psychology hack. It's the most important part of your trading data that you need to be collecting. And it will show you exactly how you need to position size and give you conviction in your system when you start hitting losing trades.
So this is where I think most traders fall off, especially in the retail game. And this is really, really important information. If you don't know this about your edge or your strategy, then you are setting yourself up to fail long term. I promise you that. Your distribution of max consecutive losses in relation to your win rate is so important. If you have a 50% win rate like this system here, that means you're going to average 9.3 losses in a row over 1,000 trades. 95% of the experiments of 1,000 trades saw a 13 trade losing streak. Now, 13 trade losing streak is pretty big, and a 50% win rate system, if you trade at 1 to 2 risk reward, so if you risk 1%, you make 2% on a winner. That still means that if you lose 13 in a row, you're going to lose 13%. Most people are wanting to trade retail prop firm accounts. You know, those prop firm accounts have drawdown limits. Some of them 8% less, some of them 10%. You need to know this number and this number to position size accordingly, because if you're trading at 1% risk and your prop firm account has a 10% max drawdown, that means you are guaranteed to hit it at some point. You're going to hit that 10% drawdown, you're going to lose the account. But because people don't know this data, they don't understand what to do when they start hitting the drawdown. And I've seen it loads of times with traders that I teach, students. They hit 4 or 5 losses in a row. They start to think this edge doesn't work. This strategy doesn't work. I need to tweak it. I need to find another mentor. I need to add an indicator, whatever. 3, 4, 5 losses in a row are pretty inevitable for any system. I would say 5 losses in a row, 75% win rate is pretty standard, and a 75% win rate is high. But without knowing these stats, without knowing this data, when the losses occur, you then start to panic. You start to think it doesn't work, right? Now, if we look at another system here, so this one is a 30% win rate. Now, this system trades at 1 to 5 risk reward. So for every 1% risk, you make 5%. Well, this system averages 17.1 losses in a row. And you might say, well, is this system profitable? Yeah, it's very profitable. If you look at the actual stats on this system, 30% win rate, 1 to 5R, 10 trades a month, no compounding, 0.5% risk a trade, 48% projected return in a year. So it's a profitable system. It works. It makes money. But imagine hitting 24 losses in a row. It takes a really strong psychology to be able to do that. But more so than the psychology, it takes understanding this data. If you've got the know that you're going to hit 24 losses in a row at some point in your trading career, and you're going to average 17 losses in a row every 1,000 trades, then you know that when you hit them, all you have to do is keep executing, because you've got the data there to back you up. You don't have to deviate. You don't have to start reading Trading in the Zone and the best loser wins and figure out why your psychology's off and you're not doing well and you're taking loads of losses. It's literally because the system is projected to hit that number of losses, right? Now, if we look at a probably more popular system amongst retail, and this is more relatable to the system that I teach, so you probably watch my strategy video, and this falls in line with the exact strategy that I use, which is a 75% win rate at 1 to 1.5 risk reward on average. Now here we've got an average losing streak over 1,000 trades of 4.7. That suddenly becomes a lot easier to manage, especially for a newer trader. So if you're newer to this game and you start hitting a few losses in a row, you know that you've just got to keep executing. If you're brand new to this game and in your first 6 months you hit 24 losses in a row, the chances are you're probably going to give up. You're probably going to find another mentor. You're going to try something different. But if you hit 4 or 5, it's a very different feeling. You know, you can keep executing through. You know that it's part of the system. 4 or 5 doesn't have to be really damaging to your overall balance. 0.5% risk of trade, that's a couple of percent, 2-3%, right? So it's nothing crazy. And again, the 95th percentile of experiments here only hit 6. The absolute max across all these experiments was 10. Pretty high. 10 losses in a row. Again, you know, you need to keep pretty good psychology. You need to be able to battle through that, but at the same time, it's manageable, right? And that system is really not much different to this one. So this here should say 75, and this should be 1.5. 10 trades a month, no compounding, 52%. So in comparison to the previous system of 48%, it's roughly the same. But you have to be so psychologically tough to execute through this one. This one becomes a lot easier. And a system like that really is more appropriate for if you're trading these prop firm accounts, because you have a higher win rate. You're not likely to hit the daily drawdown. You're not likely to hit the max overall drawdown unless you're oversizing or over leveraging. So you know that you're going to maintain or keep that account long term. But understanding this data and understanding these numbers is really, really important. Now, the next thing I want to talk a bit about is my journey through understanding this and my journey through trading psychology. When I first started trading, I built no data, had no data collection process. I was just trading an edge that I knew or thought made money because my mentor had taught me that it made money. But then when I started losing trades, I started to question it. So I started to feel like I was doing things wrong or something wasn't working in the edge, when really all I needed to understand was that data that I've just shown you. I needed to understand what the win rate was, what the consecutive losses were, when they occurred. I just need to execute through them. And because I hadn't built that data, because I didn't have it in front of me, I just questioned myself. I could never push forward with continuously executing it until it just made money. I would then change stuff. I would tweak things. I would think I'm doing it incorrectly. I'm doing stuff wrong. And I actually did that for years, guys. I did it for years. And one of the issues there is that I wasted so much time going through these repeatable patterns. And I see traders do it now. I see traders come to me as students, and they've been doing the same thing for years because they've been going from one edge, to another mentor, to another indicator, to another strategy, to another YouTube video. And they're just repeating this process over and over. I've been there, I've done exactly the same thing. I didn't jump from strategy to strategy so much, but what I did do was I tweaked the strategy and kept playing with it every time I lost a few trades, even to the point at one stage where I lost one trade and I think I'd done something wrong because I lost a trade. And students say it to me now, what did I do wrong here? And the answer most of the time is nothing. It was just a perfectly executed trade. It's just part of trading a probable system or playing a game of probability, right? But what you have to try to do is completely detach yourself from the outcome of any trade, because the outcome of a trade is completely random. It means absolutely nothing. And it's really easy to say that, but what you want to look at is just focus on the data collection process. Rather than focus on making money, rather than focusing on whether you're profitable on the week, the month, the day, whatever, just focus on taking all the trades that are valid as part of your system. Or if you're using my system, trade my system, take every single trade. And this is exactly what I get my mentees to do for their first 3 months of trading with me. I get them to take every single trade, journal every single one, write down every bit of data about them, fill out the spreadsheet I give them, which I track with them. And then we look at what's working, what's not working. We do more of what is, less of what isn't. That is trading in essence. You've also got to understand your perception around money. So as you start to scale as a trader, are you someone that has a bad relationship with money? Was it scarce growing up? Do you find that money flows freely in abundance? Do you think $5,000 is a good month, a bad month? Do you think $20,000 is a good month, a bad month? Remember, we're in a position here where if we've got a profitable edge, we just need to scale. It's just a numbers game. So your perception around those numbers and money needs to be correct. For years, I thought too small. So I held myself back because what I thought was a lot of money in trading terms really isn't. And it held me back. I felt I was undeserving of earning more. And I lacked self-confidence. And talking to people that don't trade doesn't help either. So you might want to talk to your friends or your family about trading. That doesn't help. Nobody gets it unless they trade themselves. Because there's no job like it. When it's going well, it feels like an infinite money glitch. You can make tens of thousands of dollars in minutes. And friends and family might not be able to relate to that. So what I'm trying to get at here with all this is just focus on the process. If you can focus on building out data, building out a journal, collecting all the data around your trades, finding what works, what doesn't, doing more of what does, less of what doesn't, then you will become a profitable trader. It takes me 3 months to make someone profitable. And that sounds really quick, but that 3 months is intense. It's a lot of work, But at the end of it, you've got the potential to take this full time or take it into a career, pass prop firm challenges, earn money as a trader. So 3 months of intense work is well worth it. People go to university, to college for years and come out and can't get a job. They spend tens of thousands of pounds or dollars on education and can't get a career. Some deep work on your trading, some data collection, some understanding of your edge, and some live testing can transform your life as a trader.